So today what we're looking for is the 5 best exercises for chest. I'll explain why each of these exercises is particularly proficient and give them a go at home. Let us know how you get on. So the first exercise that we're looking at is the landmine press. Now this exercise is particularly good at developing the upper chest, so make sure that you establish a good shelf at the top. I'll take you through how to do the exercise whilst I'm performing it. We want to hike the weight up, or if you have got a training partner, ask them to lift it up, deadlift it up to you. Once you've got it in your hands, you want to make sure you contract the top of your chest and push through. Now, obviously, there's a possibility of your anterior delts being used here because you're pushing from your shoulders. Try as much as you can to get a mind muscle connection. Focus on the upper side of your chest as you're pushing. You could feel some resistance. That's what you're looking for. Once you've got it up here, you can feel your upper chest contracting. All you want to do, keep a straight back, nice and strong core, and just pushing through. Take it nice and controlled so you can ensure your anterior delts not doing most of the work. As you can probably see here, the upper chest, as I push through, it's contracting. Should be able to see it work. As I explained, it's an excellent exercise, an alternative to incline presses. Then safely drop it to the side. So the next exercise we're going to be doing is the incline barbell press, and this is particularly good at building thickness in your upper chest. Make sure that your chest looks full. Far too many people focus on flat and decline. You end up with a hell of a lot at the bottom, but as Arnold always said, it's the top that makes the chest look thick. What we want to be doing here is retracting our scapula, bringing everything back, pushing our chest out, using a solid foundation before we start to press. So once you unrack the bar, what you want to be doing is going just outside shoulder width. You want to have your wrist strong so it doesn't fold. Bring the bar down to the top of your chest, push it back through. When we've retracted our scapula before we take the bar, this just allows us to stick our chest out and focus mostly on upper chest. If you go a little bit too far on the incline, what can happen is you end up shifting, so you're pushing mostly with your anterior delt, which is what we want to avoid. We want a slow negative, strong explosive positive, good mix of the eccentric, concentric phases of the exercise. When you get comfortable, you can move the weight, 6 to 8 reps, and start increasing it. Start building muscle. So the most effective fly I found in my experience is the incline dumbbell fly. Better than machines because you start using those stabilization muscles that are so important, as we discussed earlier. This is my favourite, and it ensures that you build a big thick chest by developing the upper chest. So when I set up the bench, I made sure that it was on incline, not too high again. We don't want to be incorporating anterior delt. Every chest exercise we do, we're going to be retracting our scapula, just pulling it all back towards our spine before we start. We're going to take the dumbbells, come to our side, slightly bent arm, as deep as we can, whilst maintaining strength. Bring that together at the very top of the exercise. We want to contract all the way through the range of motion. When we get to the top, the natural force of gravity is going to be the only thing. It's not really working our chest anymore, so we want to make sure we use the negative as much as we possibly can. Getting as deep as possible in this one. Nice stretch, get a good range of motion before coming back to the top and resetting. So this is probably my favourite exercise for chest. It's the quintessential exercise. Most people would say barbell bench press. For me, dumbbell flat bench press. The reason I prefer it is because, as has been the running theme throughout this video, stabilization muscles, whether or not you're training for strength, size, or anything in between, the accessory muscles are so important, and you don't work them as much when you're having other things take that stabilization out. When you've got dumbbells, they're independent of each other, they move as such, so you've got to make sure you put the correct amount of effort into making sure your balance is there before you can think of pressing crazy weights. So again, we want to make sure that we're retracting our scapula, bringing everything back, getting the dumbbells either side. And as I said, the benefit of this over a barbell bench press is you can go a little bit deeper, your range of motion's increased, and that's a huge benefit when it comes to training muscle. I'm going to push all the way through, extending our elbows either fully or almost to 90 degrees. That is 180 degrees to your elbow. Bring them nice and deep, as much as is comfortable, before you fully extend. When you start getting comfortable, you can increase the weight as per every exercise. But the increased effort in stabilising, balancing these muscles, as well as the capacity to massively increase, is why it's my favourite chest exercise. So the final exercise we're going to be covering today in our essential chest exercises is decline Smith machine press. Now, I know I've spoken a lot about stabilisation, the need for that, but when it comes to training at different angles, variations, you have to put a little bit of decline in there. That's why I'm going with decline Smith machine. As with all the other exercises, we retract our scapula before we start. Bring the bar off, just outside shoulder width. Bring it as deep as we can go, touching your chest. Push it back up. Now, in theory at least, doing a decline puts a little bit more emphasis on the lower pecs, because you don't want to come up short on anything. If you want the best whole development, you have to train it from different angles. You have to give variations. Try to do flies, press, Smith machine, dumbbells. Don't miss out on anything.